Oh, Ruby.
Oh, dang, it's raining.
Come on. Come on, Ruby.
There we go. There's a flank steak with a Blackstone Grill. Makes everything cook really fast.
We're gonna do the honey chipotle charm. Already got a little bit on there.
And we love our seasoning. Great thing about it also is that it's MSG free, so use as you like.
And you can mix and match. So like with this steak here, we've got the honey chipotle charm and a little bit of the chicken kick on it for a little spice.
Great thing about the Blackstone Grill is that it cooks things very fast. And you can see we eat a lot of food. Hibachi style.
And anyone that thinks eating clean can't taste good, well, I'd say that's wrong. You can make your food taste good and still be clean and healthy for you. I promise.
You see right here. Don't be afraid to season your food.
We go through a lot of protein.
We do. Costco is the way to go.
Like this, I don't know how many pounds of meat this is.
6 pounds of shrimp. Costco, by the way.
Yeah.
And then we got the flank steak, which is a great price at Costco too.
Yeah.
And the filet.
So this all together has got to be what, at least 10 pounds of protein. And we'll probably cook it in like 15 minutes. Super quick. But we also go through all this protein probably in about 2 days. So.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. If you all know about Costco, they have really thick steak filet. And again, you can see we're not shy with the seasoning.
Unfortunately, with our seasonings, because they are MSG-free, gluten-free, preservative-free, all natural, you don't have to worry about what you're putting in your body. You know it's all good stuff, and it tastes good.
Easy stuff. Look how fast. So the Blackstone Grill, Amazon or Costco has this grill, and it's actually reasonably priced. Actually, it's under $400. So if you have the space for it, I would highly suggest getting one, invest in one, because it cooks your food extremely fast, especially when you like food like we do.
Oh yeah. And anyone who's trying to reach their fitness goals, you got to know how key preparation is. So prepping your food is really going to go a long way if you're trying to, whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle, just live a healthier lifestyle. Preparation is key.
That's the reason why we have 2 freezers. We have 2 deep freezers in our basement. Full of meat, man. Ruby's waiting for her food too.
Yep. So don't forget to check out perryspices.com. We've got 4 great flavors of our seasonings for you to try. So give it a shot and let us know what you think.
If you love food like we do, again, you can mix and match the seasonings. The shrimp right here is done with the honey chipotle.
And the taco thyme.
And the taco thyme as well too. So mix and match. The filet's almost done as well too, and the flank's almost done. So, you know, check us out, perryspices.com. Okay, this Blackstone Grill, man, this is a real deal.
It is. It's a game changer.
It's a game changer for sure. You can cook really 10, 12 pounds of food. 12 minutes, man. Look at Ruby waiting for some crumbs.
Ruby. Oh my God. You are drooling.
Oh yeah, that's why I let you out here. cut as well. So I'm a medium rare type guy. Another misconception too is that people think that eating cleaner is more expensive. It's not.
Yeah.
You can literally go to Costco and get 5 pounds of that Genio turkey for like $13.99.
Yeah.
You go to Chipotle and spend that on one bowl.
Right. But think of how many people spend $7, $8 on a Starbucks drink every morning before they go to work.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
That adds up quick.
Adds up quick.
Oops.
There we go.
Oh, come on.
PerrySpices.com. Check it out. What it do? We're doing some legs. Hope I'm not too loud. The music here is loud today. So we're going to start out with hamstrings, as we always do first. Hit a little pendulum and hit some earthquake bar squat today.
How we feeling? What's the real answer?
I mean, mentally I feel great.
Okay.
Sitting just under 3 weeks out. So food is a little low as it should be, but we're pushing. I'm just coming in here and doing what I can, and I'm making the most of it, trying to keep a smile on my face, trying to stay positive. I'm not trying to be a hero, not trying to do like crazy weight today. I'm not going super heavy. And years past, I would probably come in and that would get me really down. And that would probably like get me really frustrated that I'm maybe not lifting as much weight as I normally am. But like the thing is, prep is not a time to be strong, especially at 3 weeks out. Like you got to be smart about it. So I think that's where a lot of competitors, they kind of self-sabotage a little bit, is they get so focused on like, oh, well, when I was eating good and feeling good in off season, I was lifting this much weight. But at 3 weeks out, you have to realize you're just not going to be able to do that. So I'm focusing mainly on just getting a really, really good pump, trying to get some really good sets in, really good reps, and just keep pushing.
First set, hammies. With this machine, we love to actually try to pause at the very back for like about 2 seconds. 1 to 2 seconds, that's the goal. If your hamstrings are lagging, pause reps, stuff like that definitely helps bring those up. So here we go. Squeeze back here. Yep. Everything's controlled. Yep. 1, 2. There we go. 1, 2. Yep. So if your hamstrings are lacking, highly recommend doing hamstrings first for your legs, because we all know most folks are quad dominant. So we've always for years done hamstrings first and then tackle a quad movement. So it's important though when it comes to hamstrings though to really focus on the contraction, to squeeze back there like a bicep. Squeeze your bicep, squeeze your hamstring the exact same way.
I also find it's helpful prior to getting into like a squat movement, just getting the hamstrings loosened up and getting some blood in there. So I think that helps too. But you're right, the vast majority of people are quad dominant and need to work on their hamstrings. So it's best to put your weaker body parts in the beginning of your training sessions. So that's why we do that.
Nice. Nice.
One more. So moving on to pendulum squat.
Yes. One of my favorites.
I love this machine, especially if squats are kind of iffy for you. I think this is a great machine to help you get the form right. It kind of saves your back, puts a little less pressure on your back, and really allows you to like sit back in the squat.
Absolutely.
So I love this machine.
Speaking of squats, just in general though, there's always so much talk about muscle growth, that I think that there needs to be more emphasis on form and technique, because the weight will come. Like if you can't do a frog stretch like this, if you can't do this, if you can't squat like this, I would highly recommend learning how to get your, how am I trying to say here? Get the form right. Yeah. I mean, that's number one right there. Because it makes no sense to keep adding on additional weight each week and every month, whatever it may be, with terrible form. At some point, something's going to happen. It's not going to be positive.
Yeah.
Now, as we talk about, can you progress on bad form? Sure, but is it worth it? I'd say no. So what I mean by form is that you should be able to get really deep, especially in this particular machine.
And what he means by can you grow with poor form? Yes, but your risk and likelihood of getting injured in the process goes up exponentially when you do that. So that's all we're trying to say is focus on the form first, get that solidified, and then the strength will come. You know, you don't want to build upon a shaky foundation. Make sure you focus on the form. He's going really nice and deep in the squat. And going back to what he said too about muscle growth, people are always talking about, you know, this causes hypertrophy and this is the most effective way to grow your muscles, blah, blah, blah. And there's no one size fits all, first of all. Second off, yes, increasing strength or putting more weight on your body, yes, is going to inhibit a muscle growth response. But again, you don't want to stack more weight on poor form. But what also stimulates a heck of a lot of muscle growth is range of motion. Absolutely. And you can improve range of motion without adding more weight on and still get more stimulus on the muscle and still get that hypertrophy response. So that's the point we're trying to get across to you guys is it's not all weight. Yes, we do want to try and lift more weight because that is going to grow our muscles, but that's not the only way. So focus on the form, build that good foundation, and the strength will come.
And use your videos to look at your form. Don't just look at videos just to be able to, you know, post things and try to get some attention. Look at the form. If you're squatting and you see that you're tilting forward like this with your squat, that's a mobility issue. It could be hip, ankle, knees. Or if you're knees, or if you're squatting where your knees are buckling in, that's a problem. Your squat should be on point money, like this. You should be able to sit down in the frog stance like this and no problem.
Yes.
That's how your squat should be.
And your chest should stay upright. There's a lot of people that as they come down, they lean forward and the bar starts coming forward. So if you notice as you're descending in the squat and the bar is coming forward like that, that's not good form. You want to make sure you're keeping your chest upright and the bar is just coming straight down.
Plus, you don't want to keep building on bad habits, right? Because if you have a bad habit as far as terrible squat form, you probably have terrible habits also maybe in your bench or maybe your side laterals or even lat pull downs. Bad habits transfer over to many different exercises. So, nice. Nice work. There you go. Nice. There we go. Nice work. Nice work.
Woo.
Go up 45?
Sure.
Yeah. There we go. Nice. Nice. Great depth. She does a good job too. We're basically squeezing her glutes a little bit at the top. Yep. Good work. Nice. When you have excellent range of motion, again, you don't have to really go as heavy and worry about load so much right now because with the better range of motion, you know, you're lengthening that muscle a lot longer too. The time under tension is a big difference. All right. Shoes off because I can feel the ground better. go up for sure. So, shoes off because, again, I can feel the ground better. Something to do with my feet being able to feel the ground. I just get a better, I don't know how to explain it.
Most
Flat.
shoes in general, you know, like in a squat, you want to spread your toes out as much as you can, and most shoes, the toe box is really narrow, and it causes the toes to kind of be compressed and all close together. So
Right.
having, not having shoes on allows you to just have a better feel for the floor. I think about just like pushing off against the ground. Feels better to me. Unfortunately,
What about squatting with no socks?
ew, that's gross.
Ew.
That's
Hated
gross.
it.
Don't do it. Anyone walking around training in a public gym barefoot, gross. Gross.
Yeah. Not bound pass on that. No home training.
Not my thing.
What do you want on there? This will be her last one here. And we'll switch to our earthquake bar squats. There you go. Good job. Nice. There you go.
3, 2 more.
There you go. Come on, you got another one. Good. Good job. Good job. Good set. That's your last one there. We'll switch to earthquake. Okay. I just got one more here. So just to recap, highly recommend focus on form first, range of motion, before worrying about loading up the weight on any type of bar exercise that you're doing. Because you're gonna get more bang for your buck when the muscle is being lengthened in time under tension opposed to having bad form tipping the squat.
How has your recovery time in between sets changed throughout week?
It's definitely slowed down a bit right now. Honestly, I didn't really notice that until maybe a week or two ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago is when I really started to notice I was kind of slowing down, which is usually, I mean, around the 4-week out mark with Howleen. I mean, I compete in the women's physique division at the pro level, and the level of conditioning those ladies get is unreal. So I'm definitely feeling it now. Just taking a little bit more time in between sets, a little extra rest, taking a little breather, sitting down when I need to. It's just par for the course. So you just work with it, give yourself a little extra rest when you need it, and that's it. Great squat.
So you're this deep in prep. Why do you still choose the earthquake bar over a steel bar?
We always squat with the earthquake bar. Not only is the dynamic of it, the kinetic energy, you're getting more out of it, in my opinion, than a regular steel bar, but it's also just way, way safer on the joints. And especially where I'm at in prep, we want to prevent any injuries, any aches and pains. We don't want anything to go wrong because your body in a depleted state is going to be at more risk. So you got to be careful with it.
So with the earthquake bar, you don't have to load as much weight on it, the kinetic energy.
Correct.
With you being this deep in prep, do you still do the same weight that you were in the off season?
No, I'm not, but pretty close. I mean, I still try and lift as much weight as I can and maintain as much strength as possible throughout a prep because, which I feel like I have this prep more than any other, because the more strength you're able to maintain, the more muscle mass you're probably maintaining in the process. Right. So the heavy weight training is what keeps the muscle on top of the high protein diet. We as bodybuilders, we do everything in our power to get as lean as possible while maintaining as much muscle mass as possible.
Exactly.
So there is a method to our madness.
Exactly.
Believe it or not, but it's a balance. You know, I'm still trying to lift as heavy as I can, but not going over that threshold where I'm putting my body at risk.
Nice. Great form. She is working way more muscles because the weight is unstable compared to a steel bar. Nothing against steel, but at some point in your career, you might have to switch off from steel, maybe use more machines or band bell bars, because steel over time will beat your joints up. There's no way around it. Nice. Nice. Great form. Perfect. Clear. Yeah, to keep, another thing too is that you keep in mind that please don't think you can't grow by using bands. You honestly can grow. Remember, your muscles have no idea how much weight's in the bar. They're gonna respond to contraction like we always say. So the earthquake bar is an excellent tool when it comes to longevity, health, keep your tendons healthy, your joints healthy. And that's what it's about. It really is. So.
And yes, you can grow with it. We are proof.
Absolutely.
We both are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This bar can easily hold 500 pounds easy, but can we do 500 pounds? I cannot. The max I ever got on this bar back in our other gym to train at was close to 400, and that was chaos. I mean, completely hard back in our powerlifting days, but now we're to the point where we don't have to use as much load and focus more on the range of motion, and then make sure the muscle is contracting through each rep. So if something doesn't feel right, we don't do it. Perfect example, I will never do a sissy squat. You know, the ones where people are doing all this stuff all back like that because they might have seen someone on another video do it.
Yeah.
It's too uncomfortable on the knee joint, hands down. I would rather someone use leg extensions, squats, much more than trying to do heavy sissy squats and stuff. I'm telling you, it's a lot of wear and tear on the knee joint.
Yeah. There's so many other ways you can target your quads that are not going to put your knees at risk.
Right.
To me, the pro just doesn't outweigh the con and the risk you're putting on the knee joint. So you can do leg extensions, you can do close stance squats, you can do close stance leg press. Lunges. There's a lot of other things you can do to target your quads than something like that. So that would not be high on my priority list if you're trying to grow your quads.
Same. And always ask yourself, I mean, how do you feel when you're doing it?
Yes.
You know, why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because you saw someone do it? If that's the case, then, I mean, have at it, but I mean, I'll be thinking about more of the longevity of it now. Now, some people can do it. Some people are just born thicker, maybe have thick joints and just want to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, so be it. But for somebody like myself and Storm and many of our clients, I would highly recommend staying away from the sissy squat because there's other movements you can do to target that upper quad.
Yeah. I think looking at other people and taking notes from other people and trying things that you maybe see someone on Instagram do is a great idea. I highly encourage that, but we just caution people of just doing movements just because they saw their favorite pro do it.
Right.
Without I would urge you to try that movement, give it a shot, but while you're doing it, actually think about what you're feeling. Are you feeling discomfort or are you feeling muscle activation? Right. So a lot of people don't think that far into it. They just do it because, I saw, Nick Walker do this, so it must work for me. Well, Nick Walker's a freak. So,
yeah, he's an animal.
That is not the typical person. So do try things, yes, but have the mental fortitude to think about what you're doing and what you're feeling.
Absolutely. All right, RDLs. So depending on what your goal is, if your goal is to build hamstrings, you want a performance with a very slight bend. Now, if your goal is to target more of the glutes, you have more bend, squeeze your glutes to the top, which Storm loves to do herself.
If you look at his stance is a little bit closer, and he keeps his knees a bit straighter, or his legs a bit straighter, versus I like to go a little bit wider out, point my knees out, and I have a little bit more bend. So he's putting focus on the hamstrings, I'm putting focus on the glutes, because that's what each of us want to target and need to work on. So catering your movements and patterns, how you're moving, can really dictate what you're targeting. So that's what we're doing here.
Foot placement matters.
Yes. For the way he's doing it, his feet are a little bit more narrow, and I'd say more, straight, pointed, straight ahead, versus I go a little bit wider about here, and I point my toes out. In general, with a lot of hip hinge movements, if you point your toes out, that's going to put a little bit more emphasis on your glutes. So it's a little note.
Man, this crushes them. When your legs are more straight and you push back your hips, that's all hamstring. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to RDLs in general. When people think they're hitting their hamstrings, they've got way too much bend. You see this. You want to be about the bar close to your shins, push back, chest up. That's all hamstring. Always take advice. I mean, I'd recommend take advice from people who have really good hamstrings. She does it really well.
And I really push my
You
butt
really are tying
and
back here,
hips back
too.
on the way down.
And she squeezes her glutes at the top as well. Nice.
And I'm keeping my arms and my lats locked in, so my upper body is pretty tight and controlled. So I'm just moving the weight with my hips. I'm just hinging at the hips and then bringing it up. So my arms aren't moving. I'm not using my arms to lift the weight.
Nice
Putting all
work.
the tension on my glutes and my hamstrings. I'm still definitely getting hamstring in this, but targeting the glutes a little bit more by doing it this way. Slow and controlled.
Nice work.
2 more. 1 more.
Again, great job of contracting our glutes at the top. Yeah, so again, it depends on what your goals are. If your goal is to be a bit more hamstring focused, then keep the bar close to your shin and really slight bend in the knee and push back. It's all back in there.
Nice.
Stretch. Push back. Yeah. Push hips back. Slight bend in the knee. More hamstring focused. And notice my pace is nice and smooth. Not rushing through the movement. Two more. Woo! On fire. On fire. Man, it's a rough. Nice. Push back nice. Yep. Squeeze the top. Squeeze, yeah. She's pushing back really well her hip, and she's coming up. She's contracting her glute at the very top. Track. Nice. Nice work. Squeeze, yeah. You know the muscle's contracting good when you see her short shaking. That's how you know you're really contracting the muscle. Nice. Good job. Nice work.
2 more.
Yep. Yep. 1 more. Nice. Nice work. Excellent work. Done there. Good stuff. 21.
Woo.
Yeah. Body temperature shot up. You're sweating. That's intensity right there. Especially this far deep in the prep. That's very impressive. Good. You got 1 more here?
1 more.
Okay. Newbies, anyone in the gym in particular, before you worry about the weight and adding weight on any machine, number 1, nutrition. Your nutrition should be the number 1 factor. And number 2, proper form. You get those 2 nailed down, and you'll see the external results that you want. Hands down.
And I'll add a third too. Your recovery is going to play
Yes,
a very,
good
very
point.
large role. So sleep plays a
Very good
huge
point.
factor in recovery. But other things too, like body work, stretching, massage work, foam rolling.
Yes.
And you can do a lot of that stuff on your own. You know, I know body work and massage, deep tissue massages can get a little pricey and expensive over time. You can do a lot of it at home with a lacrosse ball, a foam roller. We've got our little hand tool, our neuromuscular stimulation tool. So, but recovery, that's going to play a huge role on top of, you're right, nutrition is king. Good, consistent, heavy, intense training. Number 2 is right up there, and then recovery, I think, is a close fight.
During our drinks, glutamine, creatine are my first 2 go-to when it comes to like supplements from your training to help with recovery as well, and building muscle. So those are my 2 tips in regards to supplements. We get asked that a lot too in regards to supplements. Obviously, all Access, awesome products.
Yep.
Glutamine, creatine.
Yep.
You know, I do 10 grams of each.
10 grams. Yeah, I think in general, as a general rule, most people will do just fine with 5 grams of creatine a day. It's a great way to start. And you want to go with the creatine monohydrate. Make sure that is the best formulation. That's the most heavily studied formulation. So recently got a question, someone asked about creatine HCl.
That's right.
Which is a different form of creatine. And to be honest, guys, in my opinion, I think it's a waste of money. They market it as it has better absorption, less water retention, better performance aspects to it, which data does not support that.
Absolutely.
By and large, creatine monohydrate is superior, so that's the one you want to go with.
Yep.
Okay, so you said recovery is a big deal, right?
Yep.
So is there, other than taking a melatonin gummy that you can buy at the pharmacy, is there any natural melatonins?
Having some carbs in your last meal before bed can actually help you sleep a little better, especially if you're in a prep setting. So, which that can be tough because your food may be kind of low where you may not be able to allocate those carbs in your last meal. But if you are, that's something that could definitely help, which for people who have prepped before, you know, sleep can kind of get tough, especially those last few weeks. So that's something that can help. And no, eating carbs before bed does not make you fat, does not make you gain more weight. That is a myth. You don't have to be afraid of carbs before bedtime. As long as calories are equated for, then weight will be equated for as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. It doesn't matter when essentially you eat those calories, but if you are in a deficit by the end of that day, based on numbers, you will drop weight. So don't need to worry necessarily about like timing quite like that, other than the only big rule that I am very strong or feel very strongly about is pre and post workout carbs. That's a non-negotiable. So you always want carbs, and most of your carbs to be surrounding your training. But beyond that, as long as you're fitting whatever you need to be eating in that day, it doesn't matter when you eat it.
Lunges really build up those quads, man. I'm going halfway down because got too much activity behind me. Wow. These are very tough because 1, the weight's unstable. 2, the chains make each rep variable. Each rep is completely different. We do lunges you should have good mobility to at least touch the ground. Your knee should be able to touch the ground. Wow. Wow, one more. And you have to take your time, especially when using an earthquake bar, because again, the weight is unbalanced. So it's not like your typical kettlebell where the weight's the weight. The weight's unstable. So it forces your core to work more. It's engaging your stabilizer muscles as well. Nice work. Nice. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and get ready for her to return to the stage. It's coming soon.
Thank you, guys.